Possibly. I hope that you're having the time of your life. Think twice. That's my only advice. Oh, would you?
Well, somebody's got to do it. You guys crack me up. You really do. Hey, everybody. It's almost lunchtime. It's about 20 minutes to lunch. Before I do my little thing, I've got to do some. Have you guys, do you know, this is for vloggers, for those of you that are serious with vlogging, and I consider myself to be a vlogger, even though half the people here don't understand what I do, that it'll be clear to them several years from now. I picked up this little gadget. It's called the DJI Osmo Mobile 6, this machine here. And it's a cute machine. It really is. You know, you can push it down that way. It's got a stand on it, you know, and you can control it that way. And you vlog, you know, you can adjust it. It's got several different modes in there, you know. And I love it. I love it. If you're serious about vlogging, you should get one of these. These are about $140 on Amazon. And I would encourage you to get one. I would. So I'll set this down here so that it's out of the way. Just give me a moment. Right. Guys, right before we go for lunch, again, thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few moments with me. You precious people, thank you for being with me. Somebody said, I heard him say to the contrary. That's fine. To the contrary. That's correct. What he says is to the contrary. He says to the contrary, which is wrong. It's to the contrary or on the contrary. But you can't say to the contrary. There is no ly at the end there. All right, let's get into it. As many of you know, any political figure, I don't care who they are, as long as they have a camera and they go live, I want to know what they're saying. Because, you know, these are the people that are speaking into the lives of our nation. They're people that are speaking into the lives of our citizenry. Let me say that correctly. And whenever they speak, it's kosher, it's correct, due diligence to listen to them and to hear what they're saying, so that if there's anything to rebut, you familiar with that phrase, rebut? To rebut means to retort, okay, to hit back. If there's anything to rebut, you rebut based upon what they said. If you don't know what they said, you can't accurately rebut. So here it is. I watch every time Chishimba Kambwili goes live. I watch him. You know, I watch him. It doesn't matter where he is. As long as he's live, I will watch what he's saying because I want to know what he's talking about. And every time he does, a few months ago, I used to advise him on how to do the lives. You know, I'd say, he's improved. He's still not there. You know, he's improved a tiny bit. Okay, he's made a little, maybe 7% adjustment. In the past, when Kambwili came on live, he looked comatose. You know, he would just sit there until the guy behind the camera would sort of give him a signal and say, okay, you can start talking. And then he would talk. And I would tell him, I'd say, Kambwili, you can't do it like that. You have to engage with your audience. You have to highlight them. You have to say hello. Sometimes you don't have to have an expensive setup to do that. I mean, if you have a DSLR and you're using the software, if you're using the Rodecaster Pro, or you're using StreamYard or a streaming service. What I do, let me tell you what I do. What I do is that sometimes when I'm live, literally, I scroll through the comments and I highlight people love that. For example, I mean, I'm using StreamYard now, for instance, and I'm just gonna highlight. This is Balance. Balance is one of our, he's a regular. He watches us on a regular basis, and I'm always very thankful. But being on the receiving end, everybody loves to be acknowledged. It's a human need. I love to be acknowledged when I'm watching a video, a TikTok, and somebody happens to shout out my name when they say, "Oh, hello, Chidambala," or "Hello, Simon." It makes me feel included. And so Hangala, I mean, Balance here says, and his camera was always. Sorry. Okay. I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this. There are a couple of things. And then, of course, you have these guys who say, "You are failing to control Bunga." You are busy talking about the thing. Listen, and this has always been my response to people that say this. Listen, you've got a Facebook page. Who is this? This is who is that? Duncan Musonda. Facebook page now. Start talking about Ubunga on your page. If I want to talk about English, I talk. So iwe musonda sopano asha camera yobe, buy some data bundles and start talking about Ubunga and the high cost of living. We are going to share, like, and comment. So anyway, let me get back to this. And incidentally, if you want a really good interactive streaming service, I would encourage you to use StreamYard. I use StreamYard. I was introduced to this by a friend of mine from England, and I love it. They've got a free version. The only thing, though, with the free version is that it doesn't allow you to put your logo. That's SML TV there. But when you get the free version, it says StreamYard, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you still get the quality picture and all that. But the paid version has a few other perks. For example, they've just recently added a beautifying feature on there. So, they give you smooth skin and all that stuff, which is fine. But here's the thing, guys. When you go live, and I always tell Kambwili this, is that make sure you're in a controlled environment. And with his last broadcast, the thing that just drove me up the wall was that the guy holding the camera of the phone, he kept on fidgeting with the phone. He kept on, the phone kept on moving. It was dotting all over the place. I couldn't keep track. I mean, it was like, the guy was, okay, no, go ahead and talk. And there he was, Wakambwili speaking. And this camera just kept on dotting all over the place. Don't do that. Make sure your phone is stationary. Guys, there's so many tripods you can use now, and they're very inexpensive. All you do is just set your phone or your DSLR, your camera. DSLR, incidentally, for those of you who do not know, DSLR is a professional camera, okay? You can, if you're not using your camera, you use your phone. You can put your phone on your tripod. It's stationary. You're properly centered. Okay. And if you're really serious about properly engaging with your audience, you will invest in mics, lapel mics. You don't have to have a Shure mic. These are $400. But you don't have to, there's so many cheap lapel mics out there. Not to say Kambwili can't afford it. Of course, Chishimba Kambwili can afford 50 of these in one fell swoop. My point is, you don't have to go grand. As long as you make that little extra effort to invest in a lapel mic. They call them lavalier mics. They call them lavs or lavs for short. You put the mic on, you connect it to your phone. Your voice sounds much better. It's clearer. Your audience can engage with you. Always invest in sound. Sound trumps picture. Understand that. Meaning sound is more important than picture. If you have a poor quality picture, but good sound, people will listen. But if you have good quality picture with bad sound, your volume keeps cutting and people can't really hear what you say. Immediately they just jump off. Okay. So invest in that. I am yet to see Kambwili invest in a mic. My brother, if you're listening to this, and I love you, I do, if you're listening to this broadcast, invest in a lapel mic. Okay, if you insist on using the phone. But the stage that which you've reached now, because you guys are big players. You guys are big political players. You need to begin to invest in proper cameras, proper sound. It doesn't have to be an entire kitted out studio. Where you are at home, that's fine. But at least appear to be deliberate. Don't be by the way. Don't be nonchalant. Okay. If you're going to address your audience, okay, be deliberate, be purposeful, do it on purpose. Say, okay, we're going to, what's the background going to look like? How's the lighting? Where we're sitting? Kambwili just wakes up and says, okay, Iwe, I think ni kwatefia kuranda today ni imbwa na ngushire sapano, it's okay. Uyumwana, my grandson is all over the show, but it's okay. And this is the other thing I found amusing. It was hilarious. Is Kambwili was speaking, and there he is talking. Now, no, I couldn't get your points. I couldn't get your points because your dog was barking like there's no tomorrow. You have to have a controlled environment. And when I say things like you have to be deliberate, what that means is you have to be purposeful. You have to know, okay, where we're going to shoot. Now, kudos to you. The background for Chishimba Kambwili's last broadcast was beautiful. The trees and everything it was lovely to look at. But it wasn't a controlled environment. The dog was barking. That dog was going nuts. Okay. And then, of course, bless him, his beautiful grandson or whoever that was running around. And there's nothing wrong with kids being in the shot, but be purposeful. Okay. Control things like that so that your audience knows that you're serious. I always say this to you, and I will say it again. If you're serious with your audience will be serious with you. That's a big one. That's huge in the words of Donald Trump. Because he can't enunciate. Donald Trump cannot say huge. He doesn't say that. He doesn't pronounce the H. He says huge. That's huge, huge. That's a big tip there. And if you're listening closely, you're going to take that. You're going to grab that. If that's resonating with you, Chishimba Kambwili, if I were you, I would turn to your team and say, now kutika. Kuti, we must control, we must be purposeful. Also, when we are serious with our audience will be serious with us. That's how it is. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. There's a phrase, and I'll only highlight two, one word and one phrase that Mr. Kambwili, he either misspoke or he simply made a mistake. Now, understand, all of us misspeak. I've done it. The other day, I did there was a typo in my post. A typo simply means you're typing something and then you make a mistake. I put on there, guest with a T, guest who my guest will be. It was a typo. Okay. All of us we all do that. We're all guilty of that. There are people that genuinely commit typos or make mistakes, and then there are people that just don't know better. They make mistakes, and those we correct. So earlier, was it yesterday, Kambwili used a phrase, he misspoke. Okay, I want to believe that he misspoke. He said, this is what he said. He said, for all intents and purpose. For all intents and purpose. This is not correct. This is wrong. Okay. The correct phraseology is this, for all intents and purposes, practically speaking. That's what this means. Essentially, when you hear someone say for all intents and purposes, what they're saying is essentially or practically speaking. Okay. The second thing that he said, he misspoke when he used this word. This word here is espionage. And that's how you say it. This is how you spell it. You see, I misspoke right there. This is how you spell it, and this is how you say it. Espionage. Espionage. Espionage simply means, here it is, I'll throw it up for you. Espionage, the practice of spying or of using spies. Espionage. Kambwili said espionage. How can you accuse them of espionage? No. It's espionage. Say it with me, folks. Say it with me. Espionage. And this is the lovely thing about this medium is that, when you know better, you do better. Oprah Winfrey once famously quoted the great Maya Angelou when she said, when you know better, you do better. Meaning, when you learn, walk in your new knowledge. Okay? I mean, there's nothing worse than in Zambia, people get offended when you correct them. They get very offended. Correct. Mwena Zambia, tafwaya okumtsa correct, ukontrola tafwaya. But you see, that's wrong because if you don't know better, you won't do better. Okay? If you're not corrected, you will still walk in error. Ooh, boy, that's good. That's good. If you're not corrected, you will continue to walk in error. So here it is. This word here is espionage. Espionage, not espionage. No, they're accused of espionage. No. All right. Okay. I thought I'd share that with you. And this is an excuse. Lots of people say this, and this is fine. I mean, we are Bembas. My tribe is Bemba. You're Lozi, you're Tonga, whatever tribe, whatever persuasion, and you're fine. But this should not be an excuse. And then the other excuse I hear is no English. That's irrelevant. That doesn't even come into the picture. It's like you go watch a you go watch a football game at Hero Stadium, and then you start telling your friend, you know what, I wish I was at a basketball game. Well, you're not at a basketball game. You are at a football game. So when people say things like, English, that is an irrelevant retort. Irrelevant completely. Okay. All righty. Well, I thought I'd share that with you guys. It's lunchtime. Have a great lunch. Bye.